It was raining outside, not heavily, but just enough for every drop to echo through the silence of the night, tapping against the windows and roof like slow, impatient fingers, and the house felt unusually still, as if it was listening to the rain along with me, while the cold air carried a strange uneasiness that made sleep feel unsafe. And before the rain stopped, I would realize that this night was not meant to end normally.
People think fear comes from darkness, but that is wrong, because real fear begins the moment you realize you are not alone anymore, and whatever is with you knows that you can feel it. And that moment came to me at exactly 2:17 a.m., when I suddenly woke up while rain continued falling outside. Not from a dream or a noise, but from a crushing feeling that something inside the room was watching me, as if the darkness had weight and the air itself was holding its breath.
I slowly sat up as thunder rolled faintly in the distance, and my heart began racing before my mind understood why. And then I heard it beneath the sound of rain, a soft, dragging noise coming from the corridor. Not footsteps and not breathing, but something being pulled slowly across the floor. And when I stepped outside my room, the tube light flickered weakly, revealing a corridor that looked longer than it ever had before, colder than it should be, carrying a damp, rotten smell mixed with rain-soaked air. As I took one step forward, the dragging sound suddenly stopped, leaving only the rain tapping against the windows. And that was when I felt it, a presence standing behind me, not touching me or breathing, just standing, close enough to make my skin crawl. And when I finally turned around, there was nothing there, but the lights behind me shut off one by one as darkness moved closer, and two faint glowing eyes opened inside it. The eyes were not human and not animal, glowing a sick yellow color that reflected faintly like wet glass. And when the shape stepped forward, I saw its body was wrong, too tall and too thin, with limbs bending unnaturally. And every time it moved, the walls felt damp and alive, as if the house itself was reacting. And then a cold voice entered my head without sound, slowly whispering, "You noticed me." Every door showed a version of me that never survived the night, and as I stumbled and fell hard onto the cold floor, pain exploded through my chest, and before I could stand up, icy fingers grabbed my ankle, their grip wet and tight, and I tried to scream, but the sound died in my throat as the creature crawled closer, its face empty of features except for glowing eyes and a twisted smile carved from darkness. The thing leaned closer, and the smell of damp decay filled my lungs as it whispered that it lived between seconds and that I had woken up at the wrong one. And suddenly the rain, the hallway, and the walls collapsed into complete darkness. My thoughts slowed, and my body disappeared without falling or pain, leaving only silence as time itself seemed to stop. Opened my eyes to soft morning light filtering through rain clouds and distant dripping water, and for a moment everything felt normal, and I laughed quietly, thinking it was only a nightmare. But when I stood up and walked to the mirror, my body froze, because my reflection was smiling while I was not, its eyes glowing faint yellow as the corridor behind me stretched endlessly, darker than the night before. The reflection whispered that I never left, and in that moment I understood the truth, that I did not wake up, but only went deeper, that the hallway was not trapped inside my house, but my house was trapped inside the hallway. And now I wait here between seconds, listening to the sound of rain and watching for the next person who wakes up in the middle of the night and notices their house breathing. Like the video and subscribe to AI Cinematic Stories, because this ghost doesn't like being ignored.